The Enigmatic World of Andy Kaufman, 10 Scandalous and Shocking Facts. Andy Kaufman, one of the most enigmatic comedians of the 20th century, defied every convention of entertainment. Kaufman was not just a performer, he was an architect of chaos, blurring the lines between comedy, reality, and absurdity. Through both controversy and brilliance, Kaufman earned his place among the most puzzling figures in entertainment history. This video explores the most scandalous, shocking, and fascinating aspects of his life and career. From his unusual upbringing to his fake feuds and rumors about his death, each fact unveils a new layer of this complex personality. Fact number 1. A young trickster, Kaufman's early life and personal relationships. Andrew Jeffrey Kaufman was born on January 17, 1949, in Queens, New York. Raised in Great Neck, Long Island, Kaufman grew up in a Jewish household, alongside his younger siblings, Michael and Carol. His father, Stanley Kaufman, worked in costume jewelry, and his mother, Janice Kaufman, was a homemaker. From a young age, Kaufman was imaginative, entertaining friends with skits inspired by TV shows. His passion for performance became clear as he hosted pretend broadcasts from his bedroom. Kaufman's romantic life was unconventional. He began dating Lynn Margulies after meeting her on the set of My Breakfast with Blassie in 1982. Their relationship remained strong until his death, but Kaufman kept much of his personal life a mystery, even from close friends. Margulies later remarked that Andy was always on stage, even at home. Although Kaufman had no children, Margulies and others close to him insisted he deeply cherished their relationship, describing it as one of the few constants in his unpredictable life. Number 2. Kaufman's wrestling feud with women, real or staged? Kaufman's fascination with absurdity reached its peak with his intergender wrestling act, beginning around 1981. He staged public matches, challenging women to wrestle him, claiming he was undefeated. Kaufman's taunts included declarations that women were weaker than men and belonged at home doing chores, provoking outrage and confusion among audiences. His feud with Jerry the King Lawler escalated the spectacle. The feud culminated in 1982 with a brawl on Late Night with David Letterman, where Lawler slapped Kaufman on air. Kaufman remained in character, wearing a neck brace for weeks afterward. Although Lawler later admitted it was staged, Kaufman's refusal to acknowledge it as a stunt convinced many it was real, leaving audiences uncertain where the truth ended and the act began. Number 3. Military draft deferment for mental health. During the Vietnam War, Kaufman secured a 4F classification, which exempted him from military service on the grounds of mental unfitness. His doctor, reportedly at Kaufman's request, wrote a letter explaining that Kaufman's tenuous grasp on reality made him unsuitable for military duty. Some friends believed Kaufman deliberately exaggerated his eccentricity to avoid the draft, performing bizarre routines for military officials. Others suggested that Kaufman's genuine odd behavior reflected how deeply his public persona intertwined with his private life, leaving even professionals unsure of his mental state. Number 4. The Tony Clifton persona, Kaufman's alter ego or a friend? Tony Clifton, a boorish lounge singer in cheap suits and sunglasses, was Kaufman's most infamous alter ego. Clifton insulted audiences, arrived late to shows, and demanded special treatment, often getting kicked out of clubs. Kaufman went to extraordinary lengths to maintain that Clifton was a separate person. In several instances, Bob Zmuda, Kaufman's writing partner, portrayed Clifton while Kaufman appeared elsewhere. In 1979, Kaufman demanded that Clifton be given a guest spot on Taxi, the sitcom in which Kaufman starred. Clifton's antics caused such a disturbance on set that he was forcibly removed, reinforcing the illusion that Clifton was not Kaufman. To this day, the act blurs reality, with fans debating whether Clifton was more than just an alter ego, a reflection of Kaufman's constant exploration of identity. Number 5. SNL's infamous phone vote to fire Kaufman. In November 1982, Kaufman's contentious relationship with Saturday Night Live came to a head when the show's producer, Dick Ebersol, announced a live phone-in vote to decide if Kaufman should be banned from future episodes. The audience had two numbers to call, one to keep Kaufman, the other to fire him. Out of nearly 350,000 callers, 195,544 votes opted to ban him from the show. Kaufman respected the outcome and never returned to SNL, though years later, rumors suggested that Kaufman might have orchestrated the event as part of his larger act. No definitive proof has ever emerged, leaving fans to wonder whether it was a genuine vote or an elaborate Kaufman prank. Number 6. Obsession with Elvis Presley and impressions. Kaufman's Elvis Presley impression became legendary, even earning praise from Presley himself, who called it his favorite impersonation. Kaufman would deliberately start routines as a bumbling foreign man, only to surprise audiences with a flawless transition into Presley's singing voice and dance moves. He took his admiration for Elvis to obsessive levels, studying his movements and incorporating his mannerisms into both his personal life and stage persona. Kaufman even wore replicas of Presley's clothing and mimicked his mannerisms in private moments, reinforcing his deep identification with the king of rock and roll. This dedication reflected Kaufman's fascination with celebrity and performance. He wasn't just imitating Elvis, he was living him. Number 7. The Carnegie Hall spectacle, Goats, Cookies, and Buses. Kaufman's Carnegie Hall show on April 26, 1979, was a masterclass in surrealism. The performance featured bizarre skits, such as Kaufman wrestling women on stage, bringing his family up to perform songs, and incorporating live animals, including goats, into the act. Kaufman closed the night by inviting the entire audience to follow him to a nearby cafe for milk and cookies, and arranged 20 charter buses to transport them. Hundreds of attendees accepted the invitation, creating an unprecedented post-show gathering. Kaufman later referred to the event as his greatest accomplishment, epitomizing his desire to break down the boundaries between performance and reality. Number 8. Medical diagnosis: was Kaufman's cancer another hoax? In December 1983, Kaufman was diagnosed with large cell carcinoma, a rare and aggressive form of lung cancer. Skepticism surrounded his diagnosis, as Kaufman was not known to be a smoker. Some speculated that his illness was another elaborate prank, particularly since Kaufman was known for his love of hoaxes. Desperate for a cure, he traveled to the Philippines to undergo psychic surgery, a controversial and fraudulent practice. Despite these efforts, Kaufman passed away on May 16, 1984, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. To this day, the ambiguity surrounding his illness fuels speculation about whether Kaufman staged his death as the ultimate performance. Number 9. Faking his own death, conspiracy or final performance? Kaufman's death at the age of 35 sparked a wave of conspiracy theories. Bob Zmuda fueled these rumors by claiming that Kaufman had often talked about faking his death and planned to reappear 20 years later. In 2013, a woman claiming to be Kaufman's daughter appeared at the Andy Kaufman Awards, insisting that he was still alive. While her claims were later debunked, they reignited speculation that Kaufman's death was an elaborate hoax. To this day, some fans remain convinced that Kaufman staged his own disappearance, waiting for the perfect moment to return. Number 10. The legacy of Man on the Moon and Jim Carrey's transformation. Kaufman's legacy was immortalized in the 1999 biopic Man on the Moon, directed by Milos Forman, with Jim Carrey portraying him. Carrey's dedication to the role was so intense that he insisted on staying in character throughout the entire production, whether playing Kaufman or Tony Clifton. Carrey's immersion in the role blurred the lines between himself and Kaufman, with Carrey later admitting in the documentary Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, 2017, that he felt possessed by Kaufman's spirit. Carrey's performance reignited public fascination with Kaufman's life, cementing his status as one of the most enigmatic figures in entertainment history. The film's success introduced Kaufman's life and work to a new generation, ensuring his influence would continue to resonate in popular culture.